Hello and welcome to our review of the monthly Visa Bulletin. My name is Chad Graham with the law firm of Gray Mader. I am joined as always by my esteemed partner, Sam Mader. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Chad, and I'm excited to become one of the least popular people on the internet as soon as we start talking about the Visa Bulletin today.
Yeah, that may happen here, but information is key. That's what we're here to provide. So the July Visa Bulletin has just come out. And Sam, for those who are new to this, can you give us just a really quick definition of what the Visa Bulletin is?
Absolutely. So, the Visa Bulletin is a document that's published every month by the US Department of State that indicates when individuals are eligible to receive or move forward with the last stage of the green card process. And your eligibility for a green card is determined based on a couple of different factors: the preference category your petition was filed in, your country of birth, and what's known as your priority date, or when your first phase of the green card process was filed. So those three factors are what really determine through the Visa Bulletin when you're going to be eligible to ultimately receive a green card. And that's why this is an important thing to take a look at every month.
Great. Okay, so the July Visa Bulletin has come out. Do we have fantastic news? I think you've already foreshadowed it's not great.
I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't know that we've had too many months where we can say there was great news from the Visa Bulletin. And unfortunately, this is not one of those months. Last month, we had seen in the Visa Bulletin some forecasting that indicated we would likely see increased retrogression as we went through the rest of this fiscal year. And that has definitely come about here this month. We've seen significant retrogression in the EB3 category for India. It's jumped back to January 1st of 2009. It had previously been up at June 15th of 2012. So that's a really significant move backward. And all other categories, with the exception of a little bit in the EB1 category, remain significantly retrogressed. So demand for green cards continues to be very high, and so not a great month with the Visa Bulletin this month.
All right, so at this point in the government's fiscal year, what is causing the retrogression?
Throughout the course of this fiscal year, which started on October 1st of 2022, we've seen very high demand across categories for green cards. And that has led to the increased retrogression. Especially, we've seen retrogression this year for all countries in the EB2 and EB3 category, which has been kind of rare in the recent years. But then we've just seen a continued push backwards, especially for India, because the demand with older petitions now coming through for permanent residence continues to be very high. And so, in an effort to avoid unavailability of green card numbers in any of the categories, the State Department is pushing these priority dates back and reducing that overall eligibility for permanent residence kind of for the rest of this fiscal year for sure.
All right, so with 3 months to go in the government's fiscal year, it might be a little premature to be looking to next year, but we always got to do it. We always got to anticipate what's coming. So as we look toward October 1st of 2023, what are you seeing, Sam?
Well, unfortunately, I think that we're likely to see continued deep retrogression as we head into the next fiscal year. And usually I try to be optimistic about these things and try to find a positive spin to put on this. But I really do think that as we get to October of 2023, we may see a little bit of forward movement. But my guess is that the State Department will continue to monitor usage very closely and figure out how many cases are in the pipeline that will be adjudicated as we go through the next fiscal year, and then base the future movement of priority dates on those numbers that are already in the queue. So my guess is that we may see a little bit of slow movement come October of 2023, but I don't anticipate that we'll see a bounce back for the India EB3 category back to that 2012 marker, which is really tough news, I think, to wrap your head around when you're talking about retrogression that goes back 14 years, that somebody could have been in this green card process and they're still not eligible to move forward and receive their green card. So, overall, I would say it's going to be a pretty challenging period as we go through this next year if everything kind of remains the same. There are obviously factors that could influence that. If the economy takes a turn south and we see increased unemployment numbers, that could reduce the demand for some of the green cards. But everything stays the same. I think we'll likely see this continued heavy retrogression.
Great. Thanks, Sam. We appreciate the summary. Not the most exciting news, but it's something to be aware of, and it's something important for people who are going through the immigration process to know about. So thanks for joining us. Reach out. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for joining us.